Alright, it's time to talk some Megadeth.
Finally, something good. Megadeth.
While I've always been more of a Metallica fan, Megadeth was always there, writing decent songs, but I've never been too much into them. And honestly, before re-listening to all these albums, like the 90s, like Euthanasia, Cryptic Writings, Risk, like those stretch of albums, I haven't heard since I first heard them in 2010. So I went a full decade without hearing a couple of these albums. And even then, I still heard them a year ago. So I took a screenshot of this to show you. I finished my list over a year ago because that's how long they've been talking about making this new album, which finally came out, and I can finally talk about Megadeth. So sit back and enjoy a list from a very, very casual fan of the band who only happens to own like 7 albums. Alright, so pretty much a no-brainer, right? Risk. He took a risk and it did not work. It did not work at all, with Breadline honestly being the only half-decent song on this album, mostly because it has a cool couple of riffs. And I'm sorry, but those first couple notes in The Doctor Is Calling, kind of sounds like one, my guy. Yeah, like Crush 'Em is kind of a dumb song. Insomnia gets really annoying. Insomnia. I'd rather just watch the movie. And yeah, man, none of these songs are even, hard pass. While honestly, it's not a total disgrace to music, it's easily the most miserable album to get through. And speaking of miserable albums, Super Collider is another one. Now, as far as current Megadeth goes, I actually think a lot of their newer stuff is even better than a lot of their older stuff. Minus this one. I always forget that this album even exists. And the only reason it's above Risk is because Kingmaker and Burn I actually kind of like. Those are 2 decent songs. Everything else on this album, delete it. Don't listen to it again. I mean, half the band quit after this album came out because it's kind of that bad. We got another Catharsis Machine Head on our hands, but this one was way before that. And oh my god, it's really bright in here now. I'm so pale. But yeah, man, total horseshit album. Easy skip. So yeah, with Cryptic Writings, I mean, Trust is still a really, really good song. I love how it starts with the toms and the bass comes in. And that riff is actually kind of kick-ass. We got some riffs in Almost Honest that are pretty decent. And then The Disintegrators is a nice, faster song. She-Wolf, I always kind of forget about. But it's another really good song, especially the ending of the song. Like the middle of the album is pretty whatever, but it picks up near the end. But then we have songs like Use the Man and Mastermind, which are kind of whack, to be honest. So a couple pretty decent songs and a decent album overall. Just there's a lot better ones. I don't understand what everyone faps so hard over Rust in Peace. It's not that good. I mean, with Tornado Souls, everyone jerks off for the solo. It's not that crazy. Holy Wars, it's just a jumbled mess of riffs. Hangar 18, the intro's super annoying. Like, honestly, this is the most overrated album I've ever heard. And I'm totally fucking with you. I'm totally messing with you. I want to put a joke in here. I thought if it was... I originally wanted to put it on the bottom, but I think that would have been kind of too obvious, so I put it a couple spots above. Rust in Peace is not number 13. Jesus Christ. But the real 13 is Euthanasia, which I think a lot of people like, but I'm sorry, I don't think it's anything special. Like, that whole Train of Consequences, like, main riff is just kind of just, strumming dead notes. Like, okay, yeah, great. But then we have the main riff in Reckoning Day, which I think is pretty sweet. But I mean, like, in general, the songs are fine, but the whole album kind of feels like B-sides from Countdown to Extinction. And it's just a whole lot less interesting. And it took them 6 albums to make a ballad, and it's actually pretty decent. A Tout le Monde is a pretty solid song. Alright, World Needs a Hero. We got more pretty decent songs. Disconnect, I think, is really good. The beginning of the title track, I really dug. And then we have Dread and the Fugitive Mind, which Dave Mustaine has this particular writing style where he plays a riff and then it stops and then he says a lyric line, riff, lyric line, riff. He does it in this song, Sweating Bullets, Symphony of Destruction. All these songs do the same exact thing. But it's still a good song. I mean, it works. It works just fine. Return to Hangar, I think, was actually really damn good. Silent Scorn has a cool intro. When, pretty decent too. And then we have 1,000 Times Goodbye with that great riff. It's just kind of, I don't know. It sounds like someone's first riff they would ever make. But yeah, all these albums down here have the same common theme. Where I like a couple songs. The whole album is pretty decent. It's just, I just prefer these couple of tracks over the albums under it. And United Abominations is no exception. A lot of these songs are pretty okay, but it does have a few really, really good standouts. First of all, Washington is next. The leads in it are excellent. Then we have Never Walk Alone, Call to Arms, which easily my favorite song on this album. And probably, I'd put that shit in like my top 10 Megadeth songs. Gears of War is great. And that's pretty much it. Like, the last half of this album is okay. This is originally where Black Swan is from, which I like the 13 version better, so, whatever. But yeah, man, also, my god, the artwork. The artwork is super cool. Probably their best one. Megadeth has always been pretty good with their artwork, especially in recent years. I just think it looks really cool. Alright, Killing Is My Business, the debut. It's a solid debut, very thrashy. It never really slows down until Looking Down the Cross. But the saving grace, I love the intro, The Last Rites, super cool piano intro, and the title track is also really good. But not Mechanics, Rattlehead, like their version of Whiplash, another always one of my favorite Megadeth songs. Such good riffs and just the tempo, and yeah, Rattlehead's really good. Mechanics, I think, is kind of stupid. Not gonna lie, it's compared to Four Horsemen a lot, but Four Horsemen, while it's slower, dude, the lyrics to Mechanics kills it. The lyrics are extremely dumb, just full of innuendos, and no, I'm sorry, I don't like Mechanics. Plus, Four Horsemen has that break in the middle, which is really good, so it adds to it. Whoever touches better, and turning a screw than me, I do it for my life. Make my pistons bulge, make my ball bearing melt from the heat. It's like, oh my god, it's dumb. It's a really dumb song, I'm sorry. Alright, can you guess what number 13 was? If you guessed 13, you would be correct. This one's weird because damn near half of this album are just old songs redone. Like Sudden Death was obviously from Guitar Hero. Black Swan, as we mentioned, was from United Abominations, I think. Millennium of the Blind or Deadly Nightshade, one of those two are also old. But yeah, despite that, I do like pretty much every song on here. Not all my favorites, but like Public Enemy #1, Never Dead, another really, really great intro to that song. I love Never Dead. The redo of Black Swan is great. And then I don't think Dave Mustaine is the greatest vocalist, but he does have a few really good moments. And when he says like the death on the rocks in what song was that? In Millennium of the Blind, really cool. Really, really great part. And then 13, I expected it to be, I don't know why. I thought it was going to be like super heavy because it's the 13th song on the 13th album called 13. I don't know. Very, very 13. And you know what? I think that's exactly why we have all these old songs showing up on here, because they wanted to get the 13 tracks. So they're kind of filler, but as far as filler tracks go, I like them. It's a good album. I like it. It's decent. Good enough to own, at least. And man, you want to talk about good intros. Look no further than The Scorpion on System Has Failed. That whole, until he starts singing, but even then, I do like the verses and the chorus. But like that like that clock and then the dun dun dun, like the strings come in. It's such a cool intro. My God, bar none, the best one Megadeth has ever done. And this is what really was like the turning point after several like bad or mediocre albums in the 90s. System Has Failed finally shows up and like gives us some really good songs. In addition to The Scorpion, we have, what was that song? Back in the Day. Yo, that scene in Duck Dodgers where they play the whole song. I never watched the show, but I think that's really cool. And Back in the Day, really, really good song. Something like I don't know, it's something like that. I mean, shit, it's been a while since I heard it, let alone played it, my goodness. But yeah, man, pretty much every song is loaded with great riffs. But those are definitely my highlights. Scorpion and Back in the Day. Great songs. Actually, damn near masterpieces. Alright, and then that brings us to Dystopia, which, honestly, I don't have really any standout tracks besides the title one. I mean, with like Foreign Policy is a fun little fast song. What was the other one? Poisonous Shadows, I think, was really cool too. I don't know. It's all around pretty good. Just like the consistency on this album is very strong. Although so is System Has Failed. I don't know. I can flip-flop these two if you want to swap them out. Whatever. They're both consistently great. I don't know. I just kind of think newer Megadeth is not too bad. Not too bad, not gonna lie. And finally, we have the new album, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. So, to summarize my video on it, the title track begins extremely well. Second coolest intro they've ever done. Cleans on the album are really great, especially with like Dogs of Chernobyl and like Celebutante, Mission to Mars. Really, really cool riffs in these songs. And then of course we have the Dirk Blasts, which I'm gonna say this again in case you didn't see the album review. Their new drummer, Dirk, he is easily the best player Megadeth has ever had. Period. And just go listen to a little song called Deconstruction by the Devin Townsend Project, and I think you will see where I'm coming from. But yeah, there are these cool little flam like blasts that are super cool, and it shows up in Soldier On, and then the last 2 seconds of We'll Be Back. If you don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, the only lows are like Sacrifice, Junkie, and Psychopathy, which are just kind of okay, or in the case of Psychopathy, completely worthless. But, 6 years in the making, not bad, Dave. Not too bad at all. So Far, So Good, So What, which I used to own, but I got rid of it. And now I regret it, because it's a good album. In the Lungs of Hell, great instrumental intro. My Darkest Hour is an absolute classic. I think everyone knows how he wrote it after hearing about Cliff. Not the lyrics, but the actual riffs. Whatever, how it goes like that. And then we have a fun little Anarchy in the UK cover, which, pretty decent. Probably my favorite cover they've ever done. I mean, not that there's that many, but pretty solid. I also totally forgot the Hidden Treasures EP. Wow, I just now remembered that existed. I don't even have it. But I do remember Angry Again. I always thought it was a cool song. I should hear that EP again. But anyway, yeah, just all these albums we're talking about now are all consistently good. But this one just has the better highlights, I think, over The Sick, The Dying. But yeah, man, we're top 5 now. These are the cream of the crop. And I mean, with P-Cells, we got memorable riffs up the wazoo on this bitch. First of all, the whole ending of Wake Up Dead is one of their highlights. I can't remember, but the... however the solo goes, and then that riff. Man, that riff is so groovy. It may be very popular, I don't know, but it's underrated. I don't care how well known it is. Conjuring's great. Then we have the title track, P-Cells, obviously. Some of his finest lyrics, I think. It's just such a fun song to sing along to. And the duo track, Good Morning Black Friday, probably one of the best songs on this album, most certainly. Yeah, man. And then we have the I Ain't Superstitious cover, which is also really good, just like Anarchy in the UK. Yeah, man. It's just... And then Devil's Island, I just remember the Devil's Island! Like the chanting chorus and everything. Yeah, bro. I mean, it's one of the classics. The MTV bass intro of the title track. God, rest in peace, David Ellefson. My goodness. Countdown to Extinction. My God. Okay. Skin on My Teeth with that intro fill. Symphony of Destruction, obviously everyone knows. Like, every song on here, despite the fact that I haven't heard them in forever, I still know all of them. And yeah, Symphony of Destruction and Sweating Bullets, just like I was saying when I was talking about Dread and the Fugitive Mind, with the intro Mustaine shit. You take a mortal man and put him in control. Of course, we have Hello Me, Meet the Real Me. It's just that shit over and over again. Gets a little goofy. Sweating Bullets is kind of a silly song in and of itself, but it's also extremely catchy, and my guitar just keeps wanting to slip. And count the title track. It's been a while, but that was always my favorite Megadeth song, because I loved the little leads in the chorus, and the intro, with the bass. I don't know. The title track always really worked for me. Minus that godforsaken bridge where the lady comes on. Every 2 seconds, species of life vanishes off the face of the earth. And then in Captive Honor, that stupid ass part. Life? What do you mean life? I ain't got a life. Your soul better belong to Jesus, cause your ass belongs to me. That's really dumb. Really dumb. But yeah, man, all these songs, I just keep repeating myself at this point. It's just a really good album. It's a really good album, but we have 2 left to talk about, which I think are even better. Yeah, you know how I've been saying I've been a fan of like modern Megadeth? Endgame is the pinnacle of that. While I may not love every song on this album, like Countdown to Extinction, like Head Crusher is one of the only songs I still play live, and that was always one of my least favorites on this album. But we have the intro, Dialectic Chaos, which, just an intro, fine, whatever. This Day We Fight, the riffs in it, and the chorus, and the drum fills, always so cool. 44 minutes, has a great chorus, but another one that's plagued by the goddamn sampling. 1320 just makes me want to speed every time it shows up on my shuffle. Just the motorcycle intro and that cool ass tremoloed riff, and like the drums come in. It's really good. Love 1320. Bite the Hand and Bodies are kind of okay, but still love the choruses. The title track, Endgame, that's my least favorite song. I don't know why. I never saw anything special in that song. But then we get the hardest part of Letting Go. It's kind of like a duo song. It has like the cleans and the heavy part, and then goes back to clean. Always loved the acoustics in that song and everything. And like I said, Head Crusher is pretty much whatever. And then we get to How the Story Ends and The Right to Go Insane. I really should make like a top 10 Megadeth songs because both of those bitches are in there. I fucking love those 2 songs. You know, with the main riff. And then that very right after the last chorus, that first riff they play, one of my favorite Megadeth riffs of all time. And that goes back in that riff. Oh man, god damn, I love that song. And then The Right to Go Insane, another phenomenal song. The only thing plaguing this album is the bass tone is so god awful. I can't even fathom what they were thinking with that tone. Like that, it sounds so bad. But that's like the one thing I don't like. In like the beginning of Right to Go Insane, it starts with a bass, and it sounds so goddamn bad. Very, very extremely bad bass tone. But everything else, man, I don't know. In some parts in me want to say this is my favorite album. But, I mean, goddamn, it's everyone's favorite album. And it's like, I can't argue against it. Like, you can't deny it. You cannot argue with this album. So many people claim it's a perfect album. And I really wish I could be there with you. But see, there's this like minute and a half on this album that everyone seems to just pass by because to be fair, it's only like a minute and a half. But Dawn Patrol, it's shit. It's shit to the highest degree. It's just this mid-tempo break, and the vocal delivery. It's the stupidest thing I have ever heard. He just goes like this the entire time. So it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's near perfect. Because Holy Wars, it's like, everyone knows it. What do I even gotta say? I'm not even gonna go into it because you already know why. Hangar 18, same thing. Take No Prisoners, one of my favorite Megadeth songs, again. It's such a fun song to play on the set, it's crazy. Along with the title track, that intro. And then of course we have Tornado of Souls, which does have one of the best solos of all time. And oh, that goddamn intro riff's so cool too. I can't play it well at all, but you know what I'm talking about. And then we have those 3 middle songs: Five Magics, Poison Was the Cure, and Lucretia. I'm done with this. And like, they're fine, I guess. I think Five Magics is my favorite out of those, because it does have like a fun intro again, and then like the bass line in there too. But yeah, those songs are okay. But yeah, I mean, you got Holy Wars, Hangar, Take No Prisoners, Tornado of Souls, and Rust in Peace. Over half this album is flawless. Flawless victory. Some of metal's most iconic songs ever. And you got yourself a near mint album, I would say. So while I almost like Endgame better, I can't help but deny the fact that Rust in Peace is 100% their best album. And I will say it's my favorite as well. So there you have it. There is the Megadeth list I've been waiting to talk about for over a year. My goodness. And as usual, let me know what your favorite albums are. If you like them better than Metallica, which I know a lot of people do. I think I saw some comment at some point where it was like, you know, Metallica in the early days, but now definitely Megadeth. And I definitely agree. And I think that's due to the fact that they keep cycling through members, so it's always fresh. You know, Metallica have had the same 4 guys since Kill 'Em All, so it's like, well, I mean, besides the bass players. Okay, 3 guys, revolving bass players. But yeah, I just think that Dave just gets these, you know, Marty Friedman. What's his fucking name? Oh my god. Marty Friedman, Nick Menza, that's what it is. God rest his soul. Nick Menza. Now we have Dirk, Kiko, Chris Broderick, Sean Drover. All these guys are just really great at what they do. And I think that's what helps Megadeth so much. I just wish Dave would let other people write. And I really wish there was a different singer, because if so, they would definitely be one of my favorites, but there's just a couple things holding me back. But yeah, we have another ranking coming up very shortly, as I'm in the middle of listening to him. And who is it? Well, if we go back to our favorite album, Risk, there is a song in there that tells you exactly who it is. So, until then, this is your countdown to buy some peace, because so far it's sick and it's dying, and we're going to end up in a dystopia soon if we don't euthanize Super Collider, because it's shit. Goodbye.